Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Standing on Business with Eric Foss. I'm your host, Eric Foss. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about sports. July 20th at Jerry's World, we have Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Let's break this one down. Okay, first off, I know a little bit about the fight game. I'm no professional fighter or anything like that, but I've been following this for basically my whole life. Okay. First off, I see a lot of stuff on the internet about this headgear and these rules and everything like that. Let's just forget about all that because nobody knows what's going on here. No, there's never going to be one person wearing headgear while the other one's not. That's not going to happen. Okay, now, first thing we have to figure out, is this going to be a sanctioned boxing match? And what that means is the Texas Athletic Commission, whatever state you're in, they have an athletic commission which will look at the fighters, look at some of their footage, their physicals, everything like that. And then they would sanction it if everything works out. That's one thing. And then there's also something called exhibitions, which you would, if you remember Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, that was an exhibition where there is certain rules in the contract not to knock people out. It's just for show, basically. There's never a winner. Notice it was a draw. Mike basically, if it was a real fight and it wound up that same way, Mike Tyson would have got the decision. Okay, so let's break it down like this. Let's just assume that this is an actual boxing match and is sanctioned by the Athletic Commission. This dispels another rumor also. Like you've heard, like I've heard, people saying, oh, this guy, he's a fighter, his hands are registered as lethal weapons and all this kind of stuff. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You register cars and guns. You don't register your hands. But you do actually register yourself, and that is for your safety, okay? That's not to say you're a lethal weapon or anything. Basically, especially when you get up in age, like when you're approaching 40 years old, they do a lot of like stress tests and stuff like that. And like I myself, I got a herniated disc in my neck. So that would, and because of my age, I'm almost 50 years old, that would be an absolute no. I wouldn't, and that's for my safety, for my protection. So let's just assume everything works out, okay? And now you got Mike Tyson, Jake Paul in a real boxing match, okay? First off, what weight are they going to meet at? Could it be a catch weight where it would somewhere around 200 pounds? Mike Tyson at his best when he fought was about 217, I believe. And Jake Paul I don't think he's ever fought at heavyweight. I think the closest he came is cruiserweight. Let's talk about Jake Paul for a second here and where people are being fooled. He's not just some a YouTuber, Disney guy, some bullshit kid. Listen, he's an actual boxer. The kid is tough, and he's taking this serious. I mean, he's had the best trainers, and and he's taking it serious. He really wants to be a boxer. Okay, he was already rich, so he's doing this for him, and he's good at it. He's actually good, and he's came along very fast. He's very strong. He's what I call him a suburban hillbilly. Him and his brother. See, they're from Ohio. I think the suburbs of Cleveland. So they probably like migrated somewhere from West Virginia or Kentucky or something like that. So I could tell by the way they are. They have some fights at cookouts and stuff like that. So they're not chumps. Don't get that wrong. And Jake's been coming along well. Also, people always complain about him of he's fighting washed up MMA fighters, fight a boxer, do all this. Well, his last two fights, these were boxers with winning records, and he took them out, I believe, in the first round, both of them. So basically, with the boxing game, if you even look at Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, these type of guys, look at their first 10, 15, even 20 fights. Look at their opponents. I honestly can say this. Jake Paul has actually went against harder competition than most boxers have for his first 10 fights. Now, he's got the one loss, which is, you could have went either which way with Tommy Fury. And like I said, the last two guys, he's taken them out in the first round. I mean, the guy's improved tremendously, okay? So now he's going in to prove a point. And, I don't think he needs to prove this point. And it's just the Saudi Arabia, I think they're putting up the money for the fight, and then Netflix is picking it up and all. And I mean, these people got endless money, and it's going to draw. I mean, people are sitting out here hating and saying, "Oh, nobody, I'm going to watch it." It's going to draw. all these people talking that shit. Just off Mike Tyson, it's going to draw. And then off of Jake Paul also, because people hate Jake Paul, honestly. I don't hate Jake Paul. I like Jake Paul. I like his brother. I respect what he's doing. I respect what he's done. He's going to go in. My take on it, he's facing Mike Tyson, but he's not facing my Mike Tyson. See, I grew up in that era. It was called the three Mike era. Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, and Michael Jackson. These were and are the GOATs in my eyes, and people from my era, in their eyes, that's who they are. Now, let's talk about Mike Tyson for a second. Mike Tyson, at one time, now, not as a whole career, he's my favorite fighter, let me just get that out of the way, but not as a whole career. I can't argue that he's had a top 5 career as a heavyweight or whatever, or the greatest heavyweight, all that hoopla. But I can say this. There's 3 nights in Mike Tyson's career, and I will name them. When he fought Joe Frazier's son, Marvis Frazier, when he fought Trevor Berbick, and especially when he fought Michael Spinks. On them nights, I still do not believe that there's ever been a man born, and I don't know if there ever will be, that could have ever beaten Mike Tyson on them nights. I mean, he was just on point. He was awesome. He was awesome. He had a lot of problems in his personal life. Everybody screwed the guy over. He was sent to prison for something he didn't do. And to be honest with you, the reason why I know Mike Tyson didn't do that is because if Mike Tyson did it, he's the type of person who would say that he did, honestly. But anyway, let's break down Mike Tyson fighting nowadays at almost 60 years old. Now, you're looking at clips of him hitting the mitts and stuff. This is a few years back too, or even now. And he still has his power. Not as much power, but he's still got that power. So Mike Tyson will still catch you and take you out. But here's the thing. It's not always about that. As you age and as you've taken, head trauma, concussions, everything like that, it's can you take these punches? And Jake Paul hits hard, okay? So is Mike going to be able to eat these punches? Because Jake's going to catch them, The thing about it is, like I said, he's almost 60. Now, I'm almost 50 myself, and I know the difference of when I was almost 40 or when I turned 35, okay? You lose a little bit. There's going to be a lot of people just thinking that Mike Tyson's just going to come out and dog walk this kid. And honestly, what Mike Tyson is going to show up? See, the Mike Tyson who used to show up at these fights, he used to win these fights before the fight even started because motherfuckers were scared. And by all means, man, this dude was a fucking animal. You did not listen. When he was coming to that ring, he was trying to kill you. And he was serious. And that's what he was. And that's what made him great. Now, what is he going to be now? Is he really coming to the ring trying to do this? I mean, what is his intentions? And is he going to be able to keep up? Jake Paul started out at a minus 500 favorite. There's a reason for that. Okay? Jake Paul's been going for about 4 years now with no time off. Mike Tyson hasn't been in a real boxing match since I believe 2004 Kevin McBride. Okay, and that's 20 years ago. Now, here's the whole thing. Here's the whole thing is do you think Mike Tyson is better now than he was 20 years ago? He might be. Who knows? One thing I can say about Mike is this. He never got credit. He's always gotten credit for he had a one-hitter quitter. Yes, he's a damn hard puncher. But out of all the greatest, hardest punchers ever, he's put his punches together better than anybody. Okay? If you ever watch him fight, it's just a big, big, big. Something's coming behind it. He's moving. He's shifting. I mean, it's just poetry in motion. And he's never gotten credit for his chin. Mike Tyson he had an iron chin. Even the fights that he lost. I mean, look at the fight with Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis beat the shit out of him. And Mike went down on his fucking shield, man. I mean, he took some fucking shots. Now, would he be able nowadays to take them shots? Now, I could roll over. Some people make fun of me sometimes when I'll say this. And I'll bring up somebody real quick that's in MMA or was. Chuck Liddell. Okay, Chuck Liddell in his prime, you could have knocked this guy out with a crowbar. Okay, and he took a lot of bad knockouts, probably his last 6 to 8 fights or whatever. And then he fought Tito Ortiz. Now Tito Ortiz probably never had a standing knockout of nobody in his whole career. And when him and Chuck fought for the third time, Tito just caught him, knocked him out. Like, that's not saying Tito's got such great power, whatever. It's saying something about Chuck Liddell is he cannot take these punches anymore. It's too much head trauma. People laugh at me like when I'll say, man, if I got into a fight with Chuck Liddell, I believe I'd beat him. And the reason why I believe I'd beat him is because we would exchange punches. I believe, I'm not saying I hit harder than him or nothing, but I believe if I caught him, he's gone. Because I believe I know I hit harder than Tito Ortiz. But in his day, would that be true? No, he starched me, he destroyed me. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, a lot of people are getting things wrong too, because like I'll say this myself. Yeah, I'm almost 50 years old, and like just running around, there's a lot of younger guys I can beat up easily, but they're not fighters. They're not scrapping. They're not. Jake Paul is actually doing this. I mean, the kid's athletic. And he's serious about this. He's on a mission, you know. Now, I don't know if this is a good look for him either. I mean, if he goes in there and he beats Mike Tyson or knocks Mike Tyson out or something, I mean, is that really a good look for you for what you're trying to do? I don't know what Jake Paul's thinking on that aspect. It's going to get a lot of views. It's going to get a lot of sales. But I don't think it's going to go that way. I think if they go to a decision, I believe it's probably going to go to Jake. There's a chance that Mike will catch him and knock him the fuck out. That is true. Obviously, I'm rooting for Mike. And if I, with my heart, I'd like to see Mike Tyson go in there and win. But sometimes you got to use your brain. And, that's why Jake is the favorite. So my prediction on the fight, I believe it might be, especially because of Mike's age. If it is a sanctioned fight, a lot of times what they'll do is like, if you notice in the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather, they say, oh, they stopped it early or whatever, which is true. But here's the thing. They had to protect Conor McGregor. They had to. It was his first fight. And if they'd let that go on, something bad could have happened. So are they going to be the same way with Mike because of his age? Because if you remember back a few years ago, Evander Holyfield fought Vitor Belfort, and he was a UFC fighter. He's not a boxer, and I mean, he starched Holyfield, dusted him really quick. And at the end of the day, Jake Paul fuck up Vitor Belfort, So what's the referee going to be on also? Is he going to be, he may be, so that can lead to a stoppage, if Mike gets into some trouble or something like that. And that's going to be my prediction. As of right now, I haven't seen what Mike's going to look like or anything like that, or actually heard much from Mike on the internet or anything. So my prediction for now would be Jake probably stopping him and not knocking him out completely. Probably a TKO or a stoppage, probably somewhere around the 5th round. That's what I'm going to say. But I'm going to tune in, and I'm going to come back to this subject too, because this isn't concrete. Don't hold me to this. And I'm rooting for Mike Tyson, so don't hold me to this. We got to see what Mike looks like. And if Mike, you got to look in his eyes too, because if Mike starts flipping at one of these press conferences or something, Jake could be in fucking trouble. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's just that animal that comes out. It's just that beast. You know what I mean? That's what we remember. That's what we're thinking. Is it going to be that? If it's that, Jake's in trouble, but I just don't got it being that. So my prediction right now is Jake Paul in the stoppage somewhere after the 4th. And, I'm going to say 5th round. So, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this. And until next time I see you, make sure you stand on business.